when I was England player, there was even a petition to get me out of the England squad, which was really hurtful, like, especially when it's coming from
your own fans.
Your own, yeah.
Right, guys, welcome to another episode on the Cycling GK. Today, it's another player interview. We've got Tom Cleverley. What a friggin' legend. Now, before we get into the interview, I was with Clevs when he first started his career at Manchester United, 15 odd years ago?
Yeah, as a young player,
he was like a little rat bag, lads, honestly. He was a chav, a massive chav, and it's so nice to see him blossom into this beautiful, beautiful man that we have in front of us right now. A playing career that spans 13 years. Let me just read your Man United stats out here, Clevs. 79 Man United appearances, 5 goals, 8 assists, 345 senior appearances.
Bush.
Boom, geez. Right, so all those years ago, when you were at Man United and you were like that little chavvy rat bag with this, you should see this haircut. Actually, I'll put it on screen now. Look at this haircut that he used to have. He's horrible. Like, look at him now. He's lovely. All those years ago, did you ever think you'd have the career that you've had?
No, I don't suppose. I mean, 350 senior appearances is something I'm very proud of. I'm not finished yet. But yeah, when I was 16, 17 and looking up to guys like you, if someone had said I'd have played 80 times for that club and won a couple of trophies and things like that, I'd have snapped your hand off. I wish it had lasted a little bit longer than the 3 years I spent in the first team, but yeah, and I probably wish I cherished the day-to-day of it a bit more. I mean, you're in the presence of greatness every single day.
Every single day.
It's not just 1 or 2 players, it's 9 or 10 who are like, yeah, world-class players, and yeah, they're moments that I'll look back on and think, yeah, I was lucky to experience that.
You went through the youth setup as well, so you went all the way through. So for you, it must have just been like, this is just what I do.
Yeah.
I turn up to Man United and this is what I do.
Yeah, exactly. And don't get me wrong, I got nervous for even training in the beginning. You're coming into not only players who are world-class, but big characters, eh?
Yeah,
like
big characters.
Rio, Pat, Scholesy, Giggsy were more like the silent godfathers who looked over everything, and obviously the gaffer. But so I did get nervous, but yeah, there was a sense of normality because I'd been there since I was 12, and this is just the normal cycle that happens there. Academy product.
It's mad, it's wicked. I love how the way you talk about it, it's just normal, like playing for it. But it was though, like I said, and even when you're with the England setup, because you've been with Man United, then when you go into the England setup, it's not so much of a big jump, is it?
No, exactly. I mean, there was a lot of familiar faces there, but yeah, you were used to the big characters, the great players, and yeah, although I wasn't nervous as anything from England debut. It wasn't anything.
Who was your England debut against?
Italy.
Nice.
It was at a neutral ground. I think Switzerland the game was, but yeah, I think Jermaine Defoe might have got the winner.
You got your shirt from the game?
Yeah.
Did you swap with anyone?
No, not that night. And it's nice.
Right,
the England shirts are nice because they always have the country you play on the shirt.
Do you not think it would have been cool though to swap a shirt with somebody?
Yeah, I think I played directly against De Rossi that night.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine having a De Rossi shirt at home.
But you got to keep doing that. I know
you could swap your second one. Like, so guys, if you don't know this, when you play for England, you'll get 2 shirts. It's normally like people will either do 1 shirt for the first half, 1 shirt for the second half. But a lot of people will just swap one of the shirts. Okay. I made my England debut against Spain, so I swapped mine with Casillas, which for me, like, I was buzzing. I've got it at home. It's a wicked memento throughout. But I agree with what you're saying as well. It would be really nice to have your actual match-worn shirt.
Yeah, you want the match one.
It's nice, isn't it?
Prestigious.
Right, let's talk about Man United again quickly then. You mentioned big characters, big people, big sort of, scary people. There was nobody, more scarier for me than Alex Ferguson. I've been on the receiving end of a hairdryer. I didn't enjoy it. It was filth, honestly. Oh my God, it was scary. Have you had any experiences with a hairdryer?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that you have a genuine fear factor of one person and you want to impress someone so bad. But that's what it was like, and yeah, I experienced it once, and I think many players will only experience it once because you learn
not to do it again. What was it? What was the experience?
So Chelsea away was an FA Cup replay. Like I was playing on the left that day against Aspilicueta. I had a stinker of a first half, and he basically told me at half time, "Can you get in the game? Stop giving the ball away." And I said, I'm playing out of position, basically. It's the last time I ever answered him back. He said, basically, your position, you're lucky to be even playing for Man United at the time. He basically grilled me in front of everyone, and yeah, lesson learned, never answer the gaffer back.
But again though, like even that, like I say, it's a scary thing to have happened to you, but like you would learn from that, and then for the rest of your career, you know when you're not supposed to answer back or talk back. You know what I mean? You have to respect the guy in the position of power, haven't you?
100%. There's so many things that happened in that stage of my career that happened for a reason. And at the time you think, oh, this is just, but yeah.
Holds you in good stead, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And you see it now with the younger players, you're thinking, don't answer back. But it's a learning process.
Yeah, for sure.
And even now I want to go on to be a coach, and I probably think I know it all now. When I experience new things as a coach or whatever, you think, oh, when I was 31, I didn't know half of it.
Yeah.
You got to constantly learning and always respect your elders, I think, in this game.
Best player you played with at Man United?
Yeah, everyone says it Scholes, and it's absolute genius.
I knew the answer would be Scholesy. Everybody says Scholesy. It has to be Scholesy. Paul Scholes is the man. It's simple, yeah?
Genius. It's the way he struck a ball, the way he thought faster than everyone. Some of the things he could put it on a sixpence from.
I love the way that he just sort of carried himself as well. The way he would bowl into the training ground.
Yeah.
He would train and then he would go home. He just went about his business, and that was it.
Yeah.
It was incredible. That's probably why he didn't get, like, you know, in the wider media, he never got the recognition, I think, that he fully deserved, because he was, for me, the best player I've ever played with.
Yeah, complete genius. You think how someone 5'7" couldn't tackle, work quick, but he was genius.
Best player you played with at England?
That's a good question. But I was really impressed with, probably have to say, Stevie G.
Stevie G, yeah, I'm with you, mate. Stevie, yeah. You know, there's that old sort of the trio. You've got Scholesy, Lampard and Gerrard, and I would always put it in that order: Scholesy, Gerrard, Lampard. Okay, Scholesy was the best for sure. Gerrard, mate, he's lovely, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he was a proper English midfielder.
Yeah.
Playing against him, you knew he could score from the outside of the box. He'd smash you. He'd
was
try
naughty,
run over
wasn't
you.
he? Yeah.
He had everything. He was a great player, and yeah, obviously. At the top of his game.
He's the kind you want him in your team, don't you?
I think these players, what I respect the most, obviously world-class players, the longevity.
Yeah.
That's what I find difficult.
True.
I find difficult to keep that level, because when you have dips,
for sure,
it's hard to get out of them. Them players must have come through 5 or 6 dips, and they've been there 10, 15 years at the top.
Relentlessly doing it.
And it's not easy to do that. I respect that so much.
You've got to have the quality, but the mental ability to be able to just keep churning it out day in, day out.
That's why I love like the Euros, like Stonesy, Sterling, people who have had a bit of adversity.
Cream, mate. The cream always rises.
Yeah, it's nice.
Right, we got some questions. We got the quickfire questions. You ready for these? Yeah.
Let's go.
Highlight of your career?
Winning the Premier League 2013.
Okay. Favourite manager you've ever played under?
Difficult. I'll have to say Sir Alex.
Yeah, I'm having that all day long, mate.
I know it's not really a quick fire answer, but I'd take bits. If I was to be a manager, I'd take snippets out of all the managers.
Out of all of them?
Yeah, but Sir Alex has to be.
Okay, easy. Biggest influence in your career?
Not many people might know him, but Paul McGuinness, my youth team manager, taught me the basic foundations of what it takes to be a footballer. What's Paul McGuinness doing now? I think he's actually working right here at St George's Park. Is he? I think he's sort of an advisor to the coaches. I think I've not spoken to him for bundles of experience. Great guy as well, isn't he? Brilliant bloke. Favourite player as a kid growing up? Bex. Yes. Bex is the man, isn't he? What a guy. I only ever played with him at England for a little bit, and then when I signed for United, he was only there for a few weeks, and then he was gone. But mate, what a ledge. I've only met him a couple of times in my career, I think on tour and things like that, but yeah, growing up he was my idol. Best player you've ever played against? I think I changed my answer a few times over my career. I'd have to say De Bruyne, and toughest opponent, I would go Fernandinho. I saw Fernandinho on holiday in Portugal in the summer. Seemed like a lovely bloke. I've played against De Bruyne quite a few times. He scored several goals for me. It is what it is. But he is one player,
he's always one player that worries me. When he's got the ball, even if he is 40 yards out from goal, he worries me that he could shoot at any given moment.
Can hurt you from anywhere.
Kevin De Bruyne, what a player, oh my God. The player that you're looking forward to playing against next season the most? Back in the big league, back in the Premier League we are, who are you looking forward to playing against next season?
That's a difficult one.
Do you know what? Do you know why that's a hard question, right? Because you'd say sort of like the big boys, like you say, you might say De Bruyne, you might say Van Dijk, you might say Mohamed Salah, somebody like that. Yeah. But you know for a fact that in that game, you're not going to be enjoying it. Because that team are probably going to be better than us, and they're going to be dominating us and pressuring us and making us look like fools at time. So you don't get to fully enjoy it, do you? I think before the season starts, you go, I can't wait to play against these players. But when that moment comes, you kind of go, oh, God's sake, here we go again. So I'll let you off that question because it's a tough question to answer. It's a really tough question to answer. All right then, like mental health at the minute, obviously very, very topical. We've got the Olympics on the telly at the minute. People like Simone Biles pulling out. Completely agree with her decision. You have to look after your own mental health. You have to look after yourself in the way that you know only best to do it, okay? As a footballer growing up, there's been times where you've had bad games, you've had bad press, you've had negative comments on the internet, all that kind of stuff. How do you as a footballer deal with that negative attention?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. Obviously, these people are so much in the press that if they just want to, they can't just take a break without it being so public knowledge. So I think it's something I've really learned to deal with. I think I had a lot of character building growing up as a kid. Big characters around you. Yeah, which is, I think it's tough to do now because it's a borderline between bullying and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I had some big things growing when I was at United. I went through a big dip. Speaking to you before about the Tyrone Mings thing, and when I was England player, there was even a petition to get me out of the England squad, which was really hurtful, like especially when it's coming from
your own fans.
Your own, and United fans. And listen, I was first of all my hand up and say I weren't playing great at the time, but I'll always say I always tried my hardest.
The story that Clev's told me earlier was when he was at Man United, you were obviously in the England team at the time, weren't you? But you were starting for England, wasn't you, regularly? And somebody at home basically set up a petition on the official government website to set up a petition, and it got how many? Like 30,000 signatures?
It was in the tens of thousands, I think. And yeah, I can laugh about it now, but
at the time
I was in that
for
place,
sure,
and it's a time where mental health wasn't
a thing. It wasn't spoke about either, was it really?
I think it's a good thing now that people can be so open and it's accepted that if someone's struggling.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think, like I say, what we said earlier as well is you got like the likes of Tyrone Mings out lately, Ben Stokes, people like that, Adam Peaty. So guys, I think everybody's different. You just need to deal with it in the way that you know best and talk to people, get advice, talk to people. Social media, do you leave it a little bit? You don't really get too involved in social media, do you?
Poster. That's one thing that I did when I was younger. I came off Twitter. Just because it was something that I thought was a negative thing that I didn't need at the time. I've never really gone back into it.
You can kind of take it or leave it, couldn't you, with social media?
My aspirations in the future, go down the coaching managerial side rather than be in the media.
Clevs, for sure, will be a coach. He lives and breathes football, right? You know, when like football's on the telly and stuff, and we watch it, and we're kind of half watching it, we're half on our phone. He watches it. He literally sits there and he's like, what did he do? You see what he did there? And I'm going, I don't care. I'm on my phone or something. So Clevs, enjoyed that. You are an absolute frigging legend. Everybody, Tom Cleverley, utter frigging superstar. He's going to be a manager or a coach one day. Cheers, mate.
It's been a pleasure.